Hi, this is Brandon Smiley, owner of Thirst Gym in Terre Haute, Indiana. Today we're going to talk about an exercise we use called the Swiss Bar Pushup. The Swiss Bar Pushup is a progression and regression exercise that we use for our athletes after we've done our initial assessment and movement screening. And so what we usually do when we use this exercise is we're trying to work on some horizontal pressing patterns, but at the same time we're also trying to fix a lot of stuff that we happen to see in that screening and assessment process. So part of our assessment process involves testing the push-up, and we kind of see what happens during that assessment process of whether the butt sags, sticks out, or the upper body is lagging in overall strength and hypertrophy. So this exercise is great for people that really struggle with that part of the screening because it's super scalable and adaptable to the athlete and the client's needs. So all you need is some kind of rack or rig and some kind of multi-grip bar. Here we've got a Swiss bar from Elite FTS. The reason I prefer this bar is because of the neutral grip handles. You can get angled handles and such if you want. The neutral grip is just nice from a clientele standpoint for shoulder health, and we're also trying to clean up some patterns. And I find that with a neutral grip bar, it's a little bit easier to coach and fix that, and then you can progress to a different barbell in the same system if you would like. So the great thing about this exercise, first off, is that we're basically working on a push-up pattern, but we're doing it in a controlled motion to where we can keep everything correct. Because when we work with a lot of youth athletes or clientele that have not done anything physical for a long time, the push-up pattern is pretty bad. So when we screen them, generally they're doing their push-ups kind of like this. Their elbows are up good and high, and they got this really nasty shoulder work, and the elbows aren't in and their hands aren't down. We find they're super shoulder and pec dominant. They've got no strong triceps. And that's really bad from a long-term longevity standpoint of shoulder health. That's how they're going to wear and tear that shoulder down if it not already had injury problems to begin with. And especially when we're working with athletes, that's the last thing we want. So this is great because it teaches us to keep that position good and strong. And we don't have to actually, really use all these crazy fancy terms. The equipment kind of does some of the teaching for us. So we just take the bar, we put it in a rack. Our rig has a number system on it, which is great. So we just kind of, try to start a kid in an average area, and we kind of go from there. But you take the bar, you put it in the rack, and our bar has 3 handles. So generally with our kids, we use our close grip handle. Our adults, we generally use our medium grip handle. We very rarely use the wide handle in this system. And once the bar's in the rack, we basically just get in our push-up position. So hands are going to squeeze the bar firmly. Pelvis is going to be slightly tucked in a neutral position. We're up on our toes. Our neck's good and neutral. Our chest is tall. And we're ready to do the exercise. We're getting good bracing from the abdominals and the trunk musculature. Then we have the client go down, and we're just saying you're going to lower yourself, keep your elbows in, keep your chest tall, move everything as a unit from head to toe. So we're going to go down. We're going to try to gun our chest into this nice space, this whole space that we have in this barbell. We're going to go down and then push ourselves away. So notice my elbows are tracking in relatively well. My chest is tall. All the coaching points I said. What you usually find happens if it's too hard. The first problem that we see usually is they try to flare their elbows out and they get stuck. So they go down great, looking good, strong, and then come up and they kind of get to this, especially those last couple reps. So they're trying to default to that bad movement pattern that we saw in the screening assessment process. So we got to coach them, hey, keep the elbows tucked in, squeeze the bar, pinch your shoulder blades, or not your shoulder blades, pinch your armpits together, and really squeeze hard. The other thing we use with our kids, especially our 8, 9, 10-year-old, say, hey, if your mom and dad's car broke down, and said, hey, get out and push it. What are you going to do? You're not going to go push your car like this down the road. You're going to get your hands in, you're going to have your chest tall, elbows in, and you're going to brace yourself to be ready to push, and that's exactly what we want in this exercise. The other thing you'll find is either the butt sticks up in the air or the low back sags. So we either see the butts out like this. So that's just an easy, very simple cue. We say, drop your butt and tuck your pelvis, or, bring your butt towards your face. Works like that, come nice and neutral. Or you'll see the low back sag like this. We'll say, stick your butt out. And usually kids start to put their butt out, and they're generally pretty neutral there. We may have to play the butt in the position of the pelvis a little bit, but that's usually pretty rare. That's one of the last things that we see. When it comes to working with the client, it's very obvious. You can move it up and down to make it difficult or easier for the athlete and client. The goal is to obviously try to get them down towards the bottom for a couple reps. And once we can get them down there towards the bottom, we generally know that they're going to be able to do a good push-up pretty well. We may even swap this barbell out for a straight bar over time to try to see if the athlete and client can maintain that proper position while their hands are no longer in a neutral grip, they're in a pronated grip, just like they would be doing a dumbbell bench press or a barbell bench press. The other great thing about this exercise is that our scapulas are free to move and get some upward rotation. You can protract and retract a little bit. And from an athlete standpoint, that's incredibly important because we know that athletes don't play with their sports with their shoulder blades pinned back and down like in a competitive bench press or a bench press in general for how the clientele should use it. So while the bench press can be a good exercise for upper body strength, this is also great because it completely changes from going an open chain to a closed chain movement, which is really good for scapular health for your baseball, softball, volleyball, any kind of overhead sport, swimmers. It's a really good exercise for overall shoulder health. Again, it's an exercise that can be done just about anywhere as long as you've got a Swiss bar and a rack, especially a rack that's got ability to adjust J-cups. That's a huge proponent thing that we do. Another way you can progress the exercise is put bands around the athlete, change the grips, add chains. There's different ways you can load this. So it's not just something like, oh, that's a fluffy baby exercise. This can be an exercise that anybody that's strong can do. You can still load up relatively well. So we've got for this exercise today, though. If you have any questions, you can just visit thirstgym.com. We're in Terre Haute, Indiana. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section. Thanks and have a great day.